It was just past midnight. Was Harvey making progress? He didn't know. He honestly didn't know. Being no stranger to the occult, he was able to see the signs and recognize the danger. For hundreds of years, humanity had fought against the great evil, and it was time to fight again. Looking for clues, he had started in the administration office and gotten a lead on where to track down the missing records. The exhibits in the museum, the collection of these evil and ancient relics and artifacts, it was no mistake, it was no coincidence. There was a purpose behind it. He had walked the museum, retracing the steps, but he had not yet pieced enough of it together for it to make sense. He felt tired, but decided to return to one of the more interesting exhibits. There he had seen the remains of the high priest, and he could have sworn that the mummy inside was being affected by some evil force. It appeared almost as if it were coming back alive. He knew that the priest was somehow connected to some ancient cult. What was the evil? Harvey decided to retrace his steps one more time. He went back, walking through the museum by himself once more. A winding trail. Add a doom token to the doom track unless at least one investigator has a clue token. This is the immediate effect. Harvey has several clue tokens, so we're okay. The lingering effect. When the clock next strikes midnight, a monster appears. Okay, the museum is gathering quite a few monsters. We actually have 3. A ghoul, the high priest, and a cultist. But Harvey's back one more time, retracing his steps through the guided tour. He failed this before. He was going to give it another shot. Alright, I'm going to roll our dice. 2 investigation, 4 investigation, and a lore. I'm going to experiment this time with a spell. This is the Mists of Relay spell. This will allow me to save a die over here on the side, if I'm understanding this correctly. Let's make our first attempt. Okay. We've got 2 lore, a terror, and about 5 investigation. What we need for this is 6 investigation and a lore. We have to tackle these in order, so the first thing we need to do is take this die and complete the first task. Harvey is trying to make sense of the thread, the tie that connects all of these exhibits together. Now we need to look and see if the spell can allow him to take one of these die and use it later. Perhaps what we want to do is save. Why don't we save a lore result? Normally I couldn't save a die like this. I could only save a die if I failed and then decided to focus. But let's save this. We're going to need that down here. So I need to roll again and see if I can get 4 investigation. 1, 2, 3, and we've got a peril. And here we have a terror. Now normally you would look on your card to see if there is a terror effect on a failure. There is no terror effect. Even so, Harvey could overcome this with his special ability, changing it into a lore result. So we're still okay, but we've got to discard a die and try again to get 4 investigation. And we did it. We've got it this time. 2 and 2 is going to be 4 investigation. That will satisfy the middle requirement, and we've saved the lore result. Now we can go ahead and try to roll this one and see if it comes up a lore and save this die for some other task. No. Alright, we're going to have to use this one. We'll take it off and put it down here. So this spell is used. It goes into the discard pile. Actually, we take that and put it at the bottom, face down at the bottom of the spell stack. That's my understanding of how spells work. So this time Harvey was successful. He spotted something. Something was connecting the different exhibits together. The most eye-catching relics, statues, ancient bits of text, old tablets. They all contained one common theme. The high priest had been involved in some sort of ancient snake cult. Snake worship, the worship of reptiles. This was the common theme. This must be the connection with the evil that Harvey knew was about to awake. Alright, a successful walkthrough of the museum. Piecing it together gives him 2 more clue tokens. This takes him up to 5. And we get our first common item. Let's see what it is. It's a knife, granting him a yellow die. Alright, this is worth 1 trophy and goes into the stack, and we replace that with another location. Some time had passed since Harvey had made his walkthrough and found what appeared to be the common tie, the snake cult. It was now 3 a.m.